morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Coastal Fellowship. This is a place where many paths meet, where we honor the rich tapestry of spiritual traditions, and where all are welcome to responsibly explore their own connection to the sacred. I'm Maria Lundgren, your worship leader for today. I'm joined by Laura Prestwich, our worship associate, and special thanks to accompanist Megan Smith, song leader Karen Baggett, and also Queen of the Slides, she knows what I mean, and to Susan Roberts and Martha Kenworthy making magic in AV and Zoom today. Bless them. If you are visiting us for the first or second time today, would you raise your hand so that we can welcome you? Wow, awesome. Okay, and if you're comfortable with it, we'll bring the mic to you and you can say who you are and where you're from. And if you're not comfortable, just don't grab the mic.
Keep your hands up. My memory's not that good. It's like playing one of those games. Here we go. We'll start over here.
Do you want to do the whole family or just, I'll just say for Alex. I'll let my son Atticus do it. He wants to.
I'm Addie. I'm from Hubert.
What about the rest of your family?
She's from Canada.
I'm from Hubert too.
Hubert too.
We live together.
Yeah. He's from Hubert too. Could you believe? Wild.
Confidence, love it.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I'm from Morehead City.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Hey, anybody else?
Judy and Ike Terrell from Morehead City.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I'm actually from Boone, but I live here now in Morehead.
Nice.
Anybody else? Anybody else? We do have visitors down this way.
Hi, I'm Gail. I'm Wesley's mom. I'm from Marshallburg.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Right. Hi, I'm Bethany. I'm from Belhaven, North Carolina. If anybody is familiar, it's teeny tiny. But I am a military spouse, so we are currently at Cherry Point. Oh, awesome. Have I missed anybody? All right.
Awesome, and now let's hear who's joining us on Zoom today. We can't forget the Zoom people. We know you're there.
I didn't really forget you, Zoom people.
We have Dan Phillips, Jennifer Edwards, Wendy Pesh, Wally Dorge, Karen Reddy, Kay and Daryl Lynch, the Marsh family, Amanda Worthen, Ben Lundgren, and Captain Ron.
Awesome, everybody wave to our friends and family on Zoom. Before we get started, I have a couple of announcements. As UCF discusses plans to enter into a long-term commitment for called ministry, please make plans to attend one of the small group meetings to speak freely and confidentially about your joys, concerns, and expectations and dreams for UCF. There's info in the wave. The sign-up sheets are posted in the social hall, and there's info on the bulletin board to the left of the TV. For the month of July, the Food Recovery Program and AmexCan are having a long-sleeve cotton shirt drive. These shirts are for farm workers who need long-sleeve shirts to protect them from the sun, chemicals, and cuts. Please bring new or gently used long-sleeve cotton or cotton blend shirts or button-downs and put them in the container in the social hall. Shirts of all sizes are needed. And now, let us quiet our minds and center ourselves in this sacred space, guided by beautiful music.
opening words this morning are from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Please join in the responsive reading. Your part will be in italics. Join with the earth and each other to bring new life to the land, to restore the waters, to refresh the air, to renew the forests, to care for the plants, to protect the creatures, to celebrate the seas, to rejoice in the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars, to recall our destiny, to renew our spirits, to reinvigorate our bodies, to recreate the human community, to promote justice and peace, to love our children and love one another, to join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. And now let us speak these words as one. Come, let us worship together. Riley's going to join us this morning to light our chalice. Our chalice lighting words are from Gregory David Miller. This fire is a reminder of the light within us all, the yearning for freedom, the longing for truth, the flame of intuition, the torch of conscience. We dedicate this service to the remembrance of this holy light. We also light our peace candle to remind ourselves that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice. Now join us in singing hymn number 391, Voice Still and Small. Please rise as you are willing and able.
We'll sing it through twice. Still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing, voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing, in storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain, singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing.
Each week, we make some space and time to be human and celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. Should you wish to share a personal joy or sorrow about a person or persons in your life, there's a paper to fill out and place in the basket on the way to the chalice. After our ritual, I will read these personal joys and concerns to the congregation. You may now line up over by the wall or down this aisle and select stones or shells from the basket to represent your joys and concerns and gently place them in the chalice of water. We welcome your joys and sorrows with our stones and water ritual. Please forgive me if I mispronounce a name. We have a concern to please keep Rilla's friend Khalad in your thoughts as he deploys tomorrow. My friend Dee Dee was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer and started chemo last week. We will keep her in our prayers. It is my joy that all people, nationalities, and kinds are welcome here. To my Depression and World War II parents, profound appreciation. And longtime member Claire Doyle is having her birthday this week. Yay! Perfect. Thank you. And we have some more stones that we would like to add. First, in love and sympathy for those who died and who are mourning as a result of the Kerrville flood in Texas. And second, for our beloved Jason Pesh, that he may recover quickly from his surgery. Let us offer a moment of prayer, each in our own way, for all those whose freedoms are curtailed, for those who are in prison or in detention centers, for people who are bought and sold in illegal human trafficking, for all whose freedoms are limited because of their gender or sexual orientation, for those who feel trapped in abusive relationships. We ask for clarity to speak and act on their behalf and help bring more freedom to the world. We offer our compassion, and we ask the Spirit of life to move us towards liberation and justice. And now we have a really special treat, because Megan has written some beautiful music to the words written on the base of the Statue of Liberty, and I will have the privilege of singing those words. This is a work in progress.
Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gate shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome, her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your time, your ambassadors, running on the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden
Well, I didn't know I was going to go after all that. What a lovely gift that was. We're going to continue the theme of liberty today with our Time for All Ages, which is based on a story called Her Right Foot. And this is a story about the Statue of Liberty, and Maria adapted it for us to fit within the confines of our service. So I'm going to check with my slide operators. Good to go. Today's story for all ages, Her Right Foot, by Dave Eggers, with art by Sean Harris, was adapted by Maria for today's presentation. One day, a Frenchman named Edouard de la Boulaye had an idea. The idea was to celebrate the 100 years the United States of America had been around by giving them a giant sculpture. So he convinced another Frenchman, a Frenchman with an Italian last name, to design the sculpture. And that artist's name was Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. And Bartholdi designed the statue. After they assembled the giant statue in Paris, they took it apart. But we just put it together, they said. That is absurd, they said. They said all this in French, the language of the French, a people who very much appreciate the absurd. After they assembled the giant statue in Paris, and then they took it apart, they took the statue all the way across the ocean and assembled her all over again in New York Harbor, presumably the correct way. It's lasted a very long time. You may know that the 7 spikes on her crown represent the 7 seas on Earth, the 7 continents, and the sun's rays, too. And you probably know that the torch she carries is a symbol of enlightenment, lighting the path to liberty and to freedom. But there is one thing you may not know, and this is the central point of this book, a point the author apologizes for taking so long to get to. The point is that even if you have seen a picture of the Statue of Liberty, or even many, many pictures of the Statue of Liberty, you probably have not seen pictures of her feet. That's right. She's going somewhere. She's on the move. This 150-foot tall woman weighing, Statue of Liberty, 450,000 pounds is moving. We know that around her feet are chains. They are broken chains, implying that she has freed herself from bondage. We know that Bartholdi wanted us to know that particularly. He wanted us to see those chains. People have always talked about those chains. But few people talk about the foot that is so obviously in mid-stride. About the fact that her entire right leg is in mid-stride. What does this mean? What does this mean that we so often forget about this foot, this right leg? Well, here's an idea. Here is a theory, a reminder. If the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom, if the Statue of Liberty has welcomed millions of immigrants to the United States, then how is it possible that she can stand still? Liberty and freedom from oppression are not things you get or are granted by standing around like some kind of statue. No, these are things that require action, courage, and unwillingness to rest. The Statue of Liberty was not built to welcome just 1,886 immigrants from Italy on a certain Sunday in 1886. No, she was built to welcome 3,000 immigrants from Poland the next day. And the next day, 5,000 Norwegians. And after that, 10,000 Glaswegians. Then Cambodians. Then Estonians. Somalis. Nepalese. Syrians. Liberians. It never ends. It cannot end. After all, the Statue of Liberty is an immigrant too. And this is why she is moving. This is why she is striding. In welcoming the poor, the tired, the yearning to be free, she is not content to simply wait around until they get there. She must meet them in the sea. And now we will sing our children to their religious education classes with the blessing song. It's a blessing you were born, and it matters what you do. What we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty of love be what you do, and you don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing I was born, and it matters what I do. What I know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty I love be what I do, and I don't have to do it alone. It's a blessing we were born, and it matters what we do. What we know about God is a piece of the truth. Let the beauty of love be what we do, and we don't have to do it alone. Cha-cha-cha for Joan.
I always feel like after that song, we could all go home because it kind of says everything we need to hear. Our Soul Matters theme this month is deep listening. And while I suspect that we all listen to our friends and family when they come to us, I wonder how often we listen deeply to our own dreams and desires. I also wonder how often since childhood we have been encouraged to use our imaginations. Today, you will have an opportunity to do both. We live inside an ancient curse. May you live in interesting times. We look at our beautiful world and see things that disturb us. Injustice, hardship, war, hunger, cruelty, misogyny, racism. The list feels endless. However painful these things are to see, they also tell us what we most deeply care about. The more something disturbs us, the more we must care about it. What disturbs you most deeply about the world we are currently living in? Don't worry, I won't ask you to dwell there. Instead, we're going to do something beautiful with it. Think, for example, of a news article that has stirred your emotions this week, or perhaps one that has stayed with you for weeks on end, disturbing your sleep and your thoughts during the day. In that pain is a gift. It tells you what needs to change. And no change has ever come about in the history of the world without someone dreaming it, imagining it first. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to dream a new world into being. When you arrived, I hope you received a 4x6 card and a pencil. If you didn't, please raise your hand and one of our ushers will get it to you. Okay. So it looks like Adam needs one. Anyone else? Okay. Yes, and you'll need one. Okay. Awesome. And up here also, Barb, up here. Yeah, stormy. Everybody good? Our meditation time today will be silent and just as long as you need to discover what you would like to change in the world. Then, and this is where your imagination comes into play, I want you to imagine a solution. Imagine a world where, whatever it is, racism, sexism, violence, no longer exists. Replace whatever bothers you with its opposite. For example, a small thing that disturbs me is the often compassionless attitude of some doctors. I would imagine a world in which they listen deeply to their patients, think creatively about solutions to their problems, and empathize with them. Then, and this is the part that could take some time, imagine some practical ways those problems could be solved. In the example above, I have always thought it would be of great benefit if, in medical school, doctors had to spend 2 weeks as a patient on a ward. The patient experience is nothing like a doctor's experience of doing rounds. I believe this would give them the experience they need to gain empathy for their hospitalized patients. Another route to discover what you care most deeply about is to consider where we or another nation are failing to live up to our promise. Consider the words Megan set so beautifully to music. Where is America failing to live up to her promise? What needs to change? How could this come about? Once upon a very real time, some men, and probably some women too, although we don't hear about them, had a dream of a republic not ruled by a king, where taxation without representation was illegal, where some, sadly not all, enjoyed life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what we are pursuing here today. What would make this world life-affirming, freer, happier? Listen deeply to your pain and then imagine your way out of it. What could happen to turn this world into the world of your dreams? Now I'm going to give you a lot of time, 10 minutes, to write down your dream and how it might come into reality. Afterward, those who wish will share one of their ideas. For those of you on Zoom, I encourage you to grab a pencil and paper and do the same activity. And now we will begin our time for deep listening to our dreams and writing. If you want to, that's up to you. It looks like most people are ready. Does anyone want more time? Okay. When you look at what you've written, if you've written the problem and then the solution, and you think it would be wise to share both, you can do that. If, on the other hand, you want to, you could just share your dream of the new world and what that would be like, whatever you think makes the most sense. And so, feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to share.
All right. Well, as many of you know, I work in an emergency department. More affordable health care. More affordable health care. People are, well, I'm not going to really say that, but yeah. But better screenings, I think, would be from your doctor, or, just better screenings. I think everybody needs a chance to get seen by the doctor, but the emergency rooms need to be used for emergencies, not for a stubbed toe or a hanged nail or ingrown toenail. That can wait.
Yeah.
So that's just what I think about it. Sorry.
So imagine that world, a world where everyone who needed to could go to the doctor within a reasonable amount of time, be seen, and not
Have to
be
wait
charged
12
for it.
hours.
Imagine that.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Better preventative health care, more access. Anybody else I know Sandra's back there ready to go.
Okay, mine I put, in search of peace. Is money the root of all evil and the reason? Do we raise a generation then that has all the same income? Where bonuses are given for those who are kind. Where forms no matter ask your race or your pronouns. Where two little boys, one white, one black, asked their moms that they wanted to dress alike to go to school and get their hair cut. Because they wanted to fool the teacher. Because they felt they were identical twins.
Beautiful.
So maybe we all need to be identical twins.
I know John. I started watching John write the whole time.
Give the national parks to the Native Americans, the Indians. Stipulation that they are left unspoiled, but free to the public and without gambling houses. None for money for upkeep from taxes in liberal amounts. None could be better at honoring the land than the American Indian.
Beautiful.
Amen. Joellen?
They could teach us a thing or two, couldn't they?
All people are entitled to due process.
It's not so hard to imagine that, because it wasn't so long ago we had that.
We thought it was permanently ingrained, didn't we? Adam, I'm coming to you next, but I got to get your mama first.
The problem I see is the president yesterday said he hates all Democrats, which is half of the United States. This dream is for me, and probably, hopefully, many of you, to have a change at the midterms in 2024 in the House and in 2028 in the presidency, to strive for more compassionate, caring, tolerant leadership in the United States.
Vote in the midterms and local elections. Adam?
I'll try to keep it short because I have two cards. So the two, I wrote two little problems that were kind of related to each other. I don't like the inequity of goods, money, power, and resources flowing always from those with little to those who have more. And the second one is kind of similar to me. People in power who oppress those of different nationalities, beliefs, or orientation. So my little solution, I borrowed from Maria's a little bit. It doesn't seem quite realistic as some of the other solutions, but it seems like we're allowed to say whatever we want. So I said, it's something similar to the old cable show Wife Swap, if anybody remembers that. And then I put ugh next to that. I actually have a friend who did the show, and it was atrocious, but entertaining, in which the wealthiest of us are taken to live with the poorest for a time in which they are not to communicate with their wealthy friends and cohorts, a time in which the rich are dependent on these others for survival, food, money, and community. Kind of what you said, Maria. And the second one is similar to take bigoted or racist people and relocate them in the land, nation, or community in which they direct most of their hatred. And maybe then, when they return, these people may have a different perspective.
Could happen.
Wes has some thoughts to share with us. Excuse me.
Hatred as a whole has taken claim of this world, and ideally it should be eradicated. But as hatred is a natural emotion, you can't simply erase it. It takes many forms and must be treated accordingly on a case-by-case basis. In my opinion, many, if not most of the hatred in the world may be healed with compassion. All of humanity is capable of compassion, but how many utilize it? That's where it starts. Learning of compassion, its uses, and applying that knowledge to everyday life. While this solution is far from perfect, this one change could have ripple effects across all things in society. Bigotry, racism, xenophobia, hunger, homophobia, and many other aspects of life's corruption could be lessened, if not removed entirely.
That's kind of the root of all of it.
Wes got a whole sermon in one index card. A whole sermon. All right. I'm making my way. Miss Claire, the birthday girl.
Yes, I am Claire, the birthday girl. My birthday's tomorrow, and I have one short statement here. A world without Trump.
That was not a threat, not a promise. Well, it's a promise, but not just anybody listening in government-wise. Joe Ellen?
Okay. When and if we take care of the earth and its creatures, we take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So true.
I have been troubled since a young girl about war. I don't understand it. My dream is a world without war. The UN was a good start. The Hague is a good start, but it's not effective. As a teacher, I think if we could reach the children, and I've always believed that all children should serve, like they do in other countries. If they choose the Army, that's one thing. I think the Peace Corps, but they should. I have found if you have communication and everyday living with people that are different than you see and understand. So I think they need to be in other countries. They need to learn other languages, and maybe the UN could be more effective. They can't provide soldiers, but maybe they can provide funding so children all over the world can have this experience. That is my hope.
Ooh, that is cool, yeah, serving in VISTA and Teach Across America, the Peace Corps. I see Miss Karen's got some, Dave's creating a blockade in my path there.
Okay, I have several, but I'll just share one. I would like us to hold companies accountable for providing a living wage and benefits for all employees. And if we know that they are not, then we need to boycott. There are certain big corporations where employees have to have food stamps, have to have Medicaid, and that should not be the case if they're working.
Fun fact, did you know that North Carolina has among the lowest paid teachers in the nation? So So hold our government accountable to that. All right, who else do we have? Who's going to share with me? Miss Judy.
I dream of a country led by compassionate and empathetic leaders, those who care for others, not those who are motivated by self-interest, greed, and hate. In that country, respect for others, decency, and peace would be the norm. All would enjoy basic health care. This is truly a dream, but could be helped by starting to do psychological evaluations on those running for positions of power to prevent pathological, malignant narcissists from gaining power.
And it was true. Anybody else? Anybody else feel like sharing today? Ooh, here I come in my smiley face shoes. I'm ignoring this dog I want to pet so very much. I'm ignoring him, just like I do in my own service.
So I was a teacher 2 years ago, and I have seen how some parents treat their children. And my father was a police officer for a while, and he has seen how some parents treat their children. I'm also somebody who really likes psychology, so I went deep diving into why. And I would like to see a world where we maybe help parents more so, because a lot of times stress can actually cause that. So maybe questionnaires can be provided at like doctor's offices or even at schools that parents could fill out and then get support. Usually like psychology stuff would actually be really good for that.
We're so close to that. You know, every child at their pediatrician's well appointments from birth until a certain age, I think a year old, they do receive questionnaires focused on the child. But if we encompass parents, what all kinds of things could we do? All right?
All right. You all preach one heck of a sermon. Don't we have some beautiful dreams about the way the world could be? Now I want you to think briefly about first steps. What are some first steps we could take toward making your dream a reality? In order to do that, I'm going to give you an example. What broke my heart this week was a cartoon. It was a cartoon of a little girl in a cage looking in wonder at the fireworks. In my world, she would be free and safe and cherished. She would be the one celebrating. But how to get there? First of all, refuse to cage children. Refuse to separate them from their loved ones. Make it illegal. We could visit the imprisoned. We could connect them with lawyers. We could make it so unthinkable that we would wonder how we could have ever been so barbaric. And the first step, I think, that I would like to see happen is I would like there to be a committee in Congress that would come up with a Children's Bill of Rights and adopt it as the law of the land. So that would be my step. Get people in power. In fact, you could take someone like Michelle Obama, who has such power and such presence and such wisdom, and say, would you be in charge of getting a committee together of people so that we can create a Children's Bill of Rights? So that would be my first step. So think briefly, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes on this, about a first step you might be willing to take to help your dream come true. You'll be taking your cards home with you. May I suggest that you dwell in your dream world, the world you would like to see happen, at least 5 minutes daily? Consider this the first step in making your dream come true. Think of it as a respite, a safe place in an increasingly dangerous world. It might be especially effective if you were to take those 5 minutes or so right before going to sleep. Feel free to add to or modify the ideas you've written down today. But please don't forget your dream. Don't argue its impossibility. Hold fast to your dream. Remember the wise words from our children's book today. Liberty and freedom from oppression are not things you get or grant by standing around like some kind of statue. No, these are things that require action, courage. And like the song says, you don't have to do it alone. For as John Lennon wrote, you may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Come, let us dream a new world into being.
Now let us rise in body or spirit and raise our voices as we sing from the Teal hymnal this time. Hymn number 1017, We Are Building a New Way. And in the spirit of this exercise, let's give it a little extra oomph. I've challenged Karen to use the tambourine.
And we're going to sing this bluesy. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hating, greed, and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can't feed our everything. We can't feed our everything. We can't feed our everything. With love that is the seed. We can't feed our everything. Peace and freedom without a crime. Peace and
Miss Karen Baggett on the tambourine, folks. Our July Share the Plate recipient is Carteret SPEAK program, formerly known as the Carteret County Rape Crisis Program. Bethany Taylor is here to join us today as the victim advocate from SPEAK, and she is going to tell us about the very important services that they offer in our community. Bethany, come on up here on the short people box. Where I stand? That's all right. There you go.
Can everybody see me okay? I know I'm real little. Thank you so much for the warm welcome, and might I say that was an absolutely beautiful service. Little bit of a fun fact about me, aside from just being a victim advocate over at Carteret Speak, I am also a military spouse, so I've lived a little bit all over. And while we were in Erie, Pennsylvania, I attended the Unitarian Fellowship of Erie for 3 years. So when I was asked to come over here, it was a very easy yes. I said, I don't know those people yet, but they're my people. I can go. So I'm from Carteret Speak, and as it was already mentioned, we are formerly known as the Carteret County Rape Crisis Program, and SPEAK is an acronym, and it stands for Support, Prevention, Empowerment, Advocacy, and Knowledge. And all of our services are geared towards sexual assault survivors. We do have a 24/7 crisis line, and this is not a crisis line that if you call, you're going to get, some sort of automated message or anything like that. We take turns passing around the crisis phone in the agency. So if you call the crisis line, you have a 25% chance of getting me. We get calls for support at the hospital for rape kits and things of the like if there has been a recent assault. We also get calls just to talk and process through recent traumas of an assault. We can go to the hospital for medical advocacy and support, and we can also support with law enforcement interviews if the survivor chooses to report the crime. We can provide support throughout the court process and help survivors navigate the legal system. We offer free counseling. We currently have one part-time therapist, and we have it out there to hire a full-time therapist. So if you know of anybody, we're hiring. We also do support groups. The support group that I co-facilitate is the first and third Monday night of every month. We eat a good meal. We do a little bit of psychoeducation surrounding things to expect as a trauma survivor. We share some personal stories. They always organically come out during that psychoeducation, and we do a little bit of art. And then we also have a therapeutic horticulture group that one of my coworkers facilitates, where they do gardening, caring for plants, and a lot of plant-based art. I do not have a green thumb, so I let her take the reins on that, but she does a beautiful job with that. We also do outreach and prevention and lots of education. We go to daycares and teach the body safety course, which is just about bodily autonomy, and that, even kids have the right to say no. We are present at a lot of community events, and we also host Take Back the Night in April at our office here in Moorhead. At Speak, and like I said, our office is right down the road here, about a mile down the road. We have snacks and sodas and candy and things like that. We want our office to be really welcoming, and we want it to feel like a community place. We have a puzzle that everybody can come in, and while they're waiting for a counseling appointment or during support groups or whatever, they can help put pieces of the puzzle together. We have a little free library, and we are surrounded by plants from our wonderful horticulture group. We are part of the Carteret County government, and we also do get grants. However, as we know, grants can fluctuate from year to year, and so we do also rely on some community donations. So thank you guys. One last thought is that we do have access to interpreters, so we never want for any language barriers to be a reason why someone does not feel comfortable seeking our services. So if that is ever an issue, please know that that's not an issue for us. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, I did not know that there was such an amazing resource right here in Carteret County. I'm glad to hear that now. And I know that I can trust all of you will give generously to this amazing cause that benefits so many people right here in our area. I'm going to ask the ushers to come forward at this time, and we're going to take our offering. Oh, the challenge has been met today. What a wonderful offering. Thank you all so much for that. Please join me in blessing this offering with hymn number 402, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. All right, please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Español, extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad, o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez. All right, you know what time it is, folks. Kidney bean time. It's UCF tradition that we join hands and form anything close to a circle, kidney bean, rhombus, octagon. However, if you prefer not to, that's totally cool too. We do everything by consent here at UCF. You just move into the center and we will surround you with presence and love. Maria is going to do our benediction for us today as I join our quickly growing circle.
You are surrounded with love for your birthday. Let's sing happy birthday first. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire. Happy birthday to you. Our benediction is a poem by Langston Hughes. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. May your dreams guide you and sustain you as we bring them into being. Blessed be.